Greetings, friends. Good afternoon to you. Yeah, happy study, I believe, about marriage, family. Okay, so yesterday we started a new topic about love in marriage. Okay, so we are studying about love. What is love? Why people who are divorced today would tell you once upon a time or some time back, few months back, they were in love with each other. Okay, so we are going to study about what is this love. The most misunderstood concept in marriage is love. Okay, so today we're going to study the law of love in marriage. Okay, I'd like to understand the authority of love in a relationship. What is the authority that love has in a relationship, especially a relationship like marriage? Because marriage is the most important decision you will take after the decision of your salvation, of accepting Jesus, of making a decision to follow Jesus, live for Jesus. After that decision, the most important decision that you will ever make in life is the decision about whom you will marry, because you have to spend your lifetime with that person. Okay, that is a covenant marriage. The next thing is, for some people who are watching, they will tell you, okay, they may be victims of a broken marriage, of a bad marriage, of an unhappy family. If you ask these people, they will tell you that they were in love, that they love that person, and that is why they marry that person. Okay, so I want to tell you, love is not the foundation for your marriage. Don't marry somebody just because you say, I love that person, or just because that person told you that they love you. Don't marry because of love, because love will not save your marriage. See, some of you, or some of us may like an aeroplane. We like an aircraft, but we don't know how to fly it. But just because we don't know how to fly it doesn't mean that we don't use it or anything like that. See, in marriage, okay, we may love that person, but that loving that person will not help your marriage to go through. Just because I love an aircraft, it will not help me to fly an aircraft. Flying an aircraft is different, loving an aircraft is different. What will help me to fly an aircraft is knowledge about knowing how to fly it. Just because you love that person, don't marry that person. What is going to save your life is the knowledge about that person. Only that can save your marriage, not the love. Okay? Ask any person who's in court today. Ask any person who's divorced today. Ask any person who's planning to get a divorce. What went wrong? Didn't you love that person? And they would tell you. They spent maybe 7 years loving, spending their time in love with each other, dating, going around. But after marriage, 7 months, they divorced. What went wrong? See, they loved each other, but that love could not save their marriage, because they based their marriage only on the love, their feelings, or because somebody told them something good. The person told them, okay, something good about each other. They heard some good endearments from the person. The person appreciated them. So they liked what that person spoke, and they thought that was love, and they got married. But now they are in the divorce court because they never had knowledge about their partner. We will turn to our verses today. Our foundation verse for this topic, okay, about love is not the foundation for marriage. We are going to read from Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7 to 8. Okay, Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7 and 8. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding, not love. Wisdom, the Bible says, it's a principal thing, and get understanding. With all you're getting, get understanding. Just for your marriage, you took so much of time. Okay, you planned your marriage. You planned the decorations, you planned the dressings, you planned the color. You took so much of care to it. For home, you take so much of care. You take so much of care about minute details. But how much did you study about your partner? How much did you study? How much did you come to understand about your to-be bride or your to-be groom? Okay, get understanding. It says here, verse 8, exalt her and she will promote you. It's talking about wisdom and understanding. She will embrace you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. She will place on your head an ornament of grace, A crown of glory she will deliver to you. A crown of glory when you get understanding. See, just because I love an aeroplane, I can't get into it and fly it. I have to have understanding about how to do it. Just because I love a person, and if I base my marriage on that and marry that person, later on I will come to understand I don't have any understanding about that person. Okay, so that is what we are going to study. Sometimes when we wreck up our car, we get car gets spoiled, it gets broken. What do? Is get another car. Why do we get another car? Because we have faith in our driving. We know we can handle another car. This car got hurt because maybe somebody else's mistake. I was driving carefully. Some other guy came up and he just bashed up my car. So I don't say I'm not going to drive a car again. I don't want another car. I have faith. I can handle it. But many people, when we get into a small problem in our marriage, we don't want to go through with it because we don't have understanding how to overcome that problem. We don't have understanding how to handle that problem. And so what we do is just cancel it. Say, no, I'm not going to drive this car anymore. I'm not going to drive another car. I'm not going to have a married life anymore. I'm not going to live with this person because you don't have understanding how to handle that person. So today, my sisters and brothers who are watching, I think at least a little bit, you are coming to an understanding that love is not important in marriage, but understanding about marriage, understanding the person that you're going to marry, understanding after you get married, how to handle emotions, understanding after that, after your marriage, when you enter into married life, how to handle your anger, how to handle your emotions, your anger, your stress. See that these are things that we have to learn. How to handle a male, a female. Two individuals, two different, male and female don't have the same nature. They don't have the same likes. They don't have the same dislikes. Okay, they're opposites. They're different. God made them different. Their wiring is completely different. You cannot, every man, when you marry a woman, you can't expect her to behave just like you. Sometimes you hear the husband saying, I don't understand this woman. And the wife will say, I also don't understand anything about you. My friend, we cannot understand each other because I am a female. I can only understand a female. A male can understand a male. So it takes understanding. It takes time. It takes the desire to work it out for us to learn to understand each other. Okay? So this is what we are going to study. The difference between you wanting to drive the car. See, when the car is hurt, you willingly go and get another car. The car is broken. You don't say, okay, I don't want another car. You buy another car because you have a faith on your knowledge to drive. But you don't want to continue with your marriage because the difference between these two is knowledge. You don't have knowledge about your marriage. You don't have knowledge how to go on with your marriage. You don't have knowledge how to keep going with the next partner. So this is what hinders you. Okay. So this is what is happening. Now we are going to see marriage being the most important decision in your life. It should not be taken without careful and prayerful consideration. Think about it. Pray about it. Be patient. Don't hurry. Hurry and get into marriage and not knowing that person. Ask the Lord for wisdom. He will give you wisdom. We are going to study about this because nowhere in the Bible it tells you, get married first. You shall be married. You must be married. It does not tell you anywhere in the Bible. It does not command you. It is your choice. And when you're making your choice, be prayerful about it. Consider and be careful and enter into that. Normally, we get married because that person tells us, I love you. Because the person says, I love you, you get married. Or maybe because the person said they like you. They like something about you. Maybe they said something like we say, no, good. Something so good. Okay? So good about you. They appreciate you. So based on all these dialogues, okay, the sweet dialogues, this lovable dialogues, ideas, okay, it's so much tuned to it. And what we do is we say, okay, I like that person, I love that person, I like his style, I like the way he walks. I like the way he sings. Usually, for a person to be who is on the pulpit, a person who's on the stage has lots of attractions. But we don't see his life at the back of the stage. We don't see her life at the back of the stage. So if you are planning to marry somebody just because you've seen them on the stage, because you've seen them in the limelight, because you've seen them doing something, don't base your marriage on that. Brothers and sisters, let us study the Word of God, okay? I was telling you that love, okay, but love will not keep our marriage together. Because I've told you already, every diverse person, if you ask them, they would tell you at some time they loved each other. They were deeply in love with each other. What went wrong? Why didn't their love save their marriage? See, friends, something came up in the marriage that was stronger than love. What was that? Maybe physical abuse, emotional abuse, or mental abuse. So when the abuse rose up in the marriage, came up in the marriage, usually you don't find that when you're dating. Okay, you show the better side, the best side of yourself to your partner. Your partner, vice versa, shows you the best side of himself. But after you get married, you start living together. You start living in the same house. You start facing reality. Every time you've seen your partner on a date, you've seen them after they brushed, after they took a bath, after they dressed, after they were, okay, they had their best perfume on them, their best makeup, their best hairstyle. That is the time you've seen them. But in the house, when you start living together, you know even his mouth stinks. Okay? You know every weak part of this. Now you see the other side of him. The other side of the coin is turned now. You see it. But now, if you have knowledge about that, if you know how to handle it, because everybody that gets up in the morning, their mouth stinks. Everybody that gets up in the morning needs to use the restroom. Everybody that gets up in the morning needs to take a bath. Everybody that goes out to work and comes back needs to clean themselves. Okay? So you never seen these kind of things, and you never realize these are realities in life. But now you're facing realities. You need knowledge how to handle them. Everybody has it. Just because, okay, I don't like this and don't like that, you can't say, okay, I'm going to stop living this married life. See, in the book of Malachi, we find God was talking about two things. And after that, 400 to 450 years, there was silence. God never spoke. There was no prophet. There was no word of God. What was the two important things? One was about divorce. God says, I'm angry about you because you're not faithful to the wife of your youth. He talks about priest. He says, you don't teach your children knowledge. Don't teach the people knowledge. Don't teach them the word of God. These two things that God was. And we find that God is telling people, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I just want to hide my face from you. And about 450 years of silence, still the voice of John the Baptist. So why was God so interested in this thing, marriage? He said, life of your youth. So I will not talk to you. I will not speak to you. Okay, we are going to study that topic in the future. So now we come back to the topic of love. If you loved your wife when she, in her youth, you loved her. After you got married, what happened? Come unfaithfulness in your marriage. The moment you found there, it was the proper or mishandling of finances in marriage, you could not take it because you did not have knowledge how to handle those things. When you found the person was anger, when you found the anger was coming out of that person, they were so emotional. Now you don't know how to handle those situations. So that shows that those things were stronger than the love you had for the person. The anger overtook you more than the love of that person. That person's anger irritated you more than the love that you had for that person to be able to bear that anger. That person who was unfaithful to you, that unfaithful act of his or hers caused your love to be quenched. So that shows that love was not as strong as you thought. That shows that the love that you had for that person, and you thought you can make it through in life, you thought that you can go through in your marriage because your love was so strong. In fact, I know people who oppose their parents, oppose their mommy, oppose their daddy, and said, I love that person, I will marry that person. What happened? You person so much that you can oppose your parents. From the time that you were conceived in your mom's womb, she bore you. Okay, she made many sacrifices for you. She took so much of care of you because she took care of you, because she took many sacrifices. She had the best education, took care of you. Today you're a beautiful young girl, but you opposed just because you thought you loved that person. But today I'm saying you, why? Because something greater than that love came up in life. Okay, that is what we read in Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7 to 8, that in all you're getting, get understanding about the bride that you're going to marry. Get understanding about the bridegroom that you're going to marry. And when you get understanding about it, then you can handle it. Because a successful marriage hinges on the knowledge, okay, the application of knowledge of marriage. And to repeat it again, a successful marriage hinges on the application of knowledge, not on love. Your marriage, okay, if it's a door, the hinge for your marriage to keep it going is not love, but the knowledge, okay, the application of the knowledge that you have about that person. Your marriage hinges on the application of the knowledge about that marriage, knowledge about that person. Okay, it is not the exchange of your love. That is what we are going to study. Okay, understanding God's principle for marriage. We're going to study it in the days to come. You want to understand what is the consequence of making of a fool. Okay, you think, okay, the male is like that. For example, a male, when he's sitting and watching the TV, the television, okay, you go and tell him, see, tomorrow is the last day, we have to pay our child's fees. You see this, that, you'll keep talking, he'll be just watching the TV. And you feel, okay, get irritated. I'm talking to you something important. You're not taking it in your ears. You're just looking at the TV. You see how much I've burdened. You see what I'm doing. He's so interested in the TV because that is his nature. As a woman, it is our nature to get emotional. Okay, he's there just watching TV. He's gone and gone. But we may not be, as a woman, we may forget about it. But you notice he will come and say, where is the money? Or maybe he'll say, I paid the fee. He's handling the money. You will be shocked. Yesterday when I was talking, he was not at all giving ear. See, that is the nature of a man and a woman. Quietly he's taking it in, but we are emotionally, we'll be shouting and screaming. Okay? I can tell you many examples like this. Okay, so I can tell the men, see, women, sometimes when your wife is scolding you, when your wife is having a fight with you, she's screaming and saying, get out of this house. I don't want to see your face again. That is a female. And I tell you, brothers, when your wife tells you, get out, I don't want to see you, please don't go, because she does not mean it. Don't go. If you go, she will get irritated. She only is telling what she feels. She is not talking what she means. Okay? See, but the guy, the husband, he'll say, why are you screaming like a foolish woman? And you get irritated. What, you're calling me foolish? See, actually, he's not saying you're fool. He's not saying you're foolish. He's not talking what he thinks. He's telling you, don't act like a foolish woman. He's talking what he thinks. He's telling you, don't act like that. I know you're not foolish, but don't act like that. Okay? But we are screaming along. So, see, we talk what we feel. The men talk what they have knowledge of. Okay? We only talk our feelings. They talk their understanding. They will sit quietly and watch you screaming your lungs out, and then they'll say, why are you acting like this? Okay? So, this is the nature of a woman. This is the nature of a man. If we know this, we can go. I can tell you many examples like that. Okay, like women, we are so careful about small details. Okay, why you're throwing your socks here? Why you're putting your shoes here? This must go in this place. But how much you scream your 28 years I've been living a married life. It's not going to change him. He will continue to do that. But we want everything to be in order. So rather, instead of screaming and shouting and losing your energy, losing your peace, just take it wherever he's throwing it and put it in its place and finish. These are small examples I'm telling you about having knowledge about a male and female. So we are going to study this in the coming days, okay? Don't say, I love my husband, so, okay, everything is fine. I will go through it. No, there are many ups and downs. And through those ups and through those downs, we are going to learn each other. We are going to have knowledge about each other, okay? So this is what I started this thing about teaching you to have knowledge. Just because some small thing is going wrong in your family, don't dump your marriage. If that is the case, on the first day, first night, the first day that we started living, we should have dumped our marriage. But that is not the way. Okay? Have knowledge. Learn to understand each other. Learn to understand the dynamics about a man and a woman. Okay? Learn to understand, okay, their feelings as the opposite sex. For two men to live together, it's very easy. For two women to live together, it's very easy. But for a male and a female to live together, it's very hard. And so that is what I'm telling you. Okay? Tomorrow we are going to see what love really is. What is this love? If love is not so strong, then what is it? We are going to study that tomorrow. Okay? As an intro, I'll tell you, love is a feeling. So don't base your marriage on a feeling called love. It's just a feeling. See, love can change. For example, for married people, I'll tell you, in the morning when you get up and you see him dressed up and putting his spray and everything, you just admire him, or he admires you, and that loving feeling is there. But after sometimes, maybe in the conversation, when we are talking about money, we are talking about something, and he does not give you the reply that you expect. Suddenly you find an hatred and irritation and anger. The same guy that you were a few minutes ago, or the same female that you were a few minutes ago sitting and admiring, okay, with love in your eyes. The same person now, after a few minutes, you feel like catching the throat and just smashing it. Why? What happened? Did love change? Love is a feeling. We are going to study that in future, in the coming days. And don't miss this. Share it with others. It is very, very important. We have heard many things like saying, this is my better half. I'm going to tell you how very wrong it is. Okay? How very wrong. 100% wrong. So we are going to study these details. Some of you might not have heard this in your life. Some of you, it may be very new. For some, it may be already that you know it. For some, you might be thinking, I wish I had heard this earlier. It's never too late for Jesus. Jesus is always there to save us. Jesus is always there to help us in our weakness. Okay? But many times I used to think about the movie called Samson and Delilah. In my earlier days when I got saved, I used to think, how come they call Samson and Delilah story a love story? We'll study, we'll think about that, and we'll talk about that in future. How could they call Samson's story a love story when it was a completely failure story? See, these are examples of love. He loved that woman so much. And what happened? Failure. Don't base your marriage on love. Base it on knowledge, understanding about marriage. Thank you so much for watching. We will continue to study the word every day, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you so much for sharing it, sharing it with others. Invite your friends to watch it, and take this message, write down these messages, share the knowledge that you're getting. Bless somebody with it. You can save your marriage. See, today I'm telling you, friends, many people have been divorced. Many people who have been separated today would have easily saved their marriage if they only had a little bit of knowledge. If they only had a little bit of knowledge how to handle the problems that they were going through. Just some small problems. If they had knowledge about it, they could have handled it and saved their marriage. But today, they are torn apart. They have broken hearts. They have broken families. Their children are separated with no parent, at least with one parent they are living, all because they did not have knowledge. The Bible says in Hosea chapter 4 and verse 7, my people, they perish because of lack of knowledge. Today, God has given me a little bit of wisdom, little bit of knowledge to teach you. He's given me the burden to teach you. He's given me this ministry specially to help save marriages and families. Please help me with this ministry. Share it with others who are hurting so that the cases in the divorce court will go down and we will see our children happily living in their lives. Thank you so much. God bless you.